Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and I'm so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we are doing something a little different, okay? And that is a book haul. Now, it's not a big book haul, but it's big for me. I usually try to not buy books in bulk. I'm trying to be better because having a hobby of book buying can be and is expensive, so I try to limit that. But here lately I have just acquired a little stack, so I thought we could go through them together and talk about them. And yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's just get into these books. So the first book that I have is The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste. And this is a YA fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. It says, in a country divided between humans and witchers, Venus Stoneheart hustles as a brewer, making illegal love potions to support her family. Love potions are a dangerous business. Brewing has painful, debilitating side effects, and getting caught means death or a prison sentence. But what Venus is most afraid of is the dark, sentient magic within her. When an enemy's iron bullet kills her mother, Venus's life implodes. Keeping her reckless little sister Janice safe is now her responsibility. When the powerful Grand Witcher, the ruthless head of her coven, offers Venus the chance to punish her mother's killer, she has to pay a steep price for revenge. The cost? Brew poisonous potions to enslave DC's most influential politicians in order to pass legislation that will protect witchers for years to come. As Venus crawls deeper into the corrupt underbelly of her city, the line between magic and power blurs, and it's hard to tell who to trust, herself included. So this sounds like it's going to be really cool, a little political, a little fantastical, some of my favorite things. Yeah. Next up, we have Long Live Evil, and this is by Sarah Reese Brennan. And this is a tale for anyone who's ever fallen for the villain. As her whole life collapsed, Ray still has books. Dying, she seizes a second chance at living, a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. She wakes in a castle on the edge of a hellish chasm, home to the once and forever Emperor, her favorite fictional character. He's impossibly alluring as only fiction can be. However, in this fantasy world, she discovers that she's not the heroine, but the villainess in the Emperor's tale. Time to assemble a rogues gallery of villains and hatch an evil plot. So this sounds super, super fun to me. I just love when people get to go into the world of their favorite books and become characters. And yes, along with that, we have one that is also kind of similar in that vein, and that is Fang Fiction by Kate Stayman London. And this is about Tess Rosenblum, who is no stranger to the dark. An assault survivor and grad school dropout, Tess spends her nights managing a chic Brooklyn hotel and her days reading her favorite vampire novels, Blood Feud. She even dabbles in online conspiracies, claiming Blood Feud is real. It's fun to hunt for clues. But deep down, Tess doesn't believe vampires actually exist until one walks through her door. It turns out the sexy villain of Blood Feud is trapped, and only Tess can rescue him. Eager to escape her life, Tess agrees to help, and soon she's on a secret island where the sun never shines, surrounded by deadly vampires, and most terrifying of all, she's falling in love with one of them. And back in New York, Tess's estranged best friend is having a sapphic paranormal affair of her own. Visiting the world of your favorite story is any fan's dream, but can Tess outrun the demons of her past and vampires of her present before that dream becomes a nightmare? In this darkly glamorous rom-com, Tess will find out if it's worth risking her neck and her heart for a chance to reclaim her future. It sounds like there will be some heavier topics discussed, but overall it'll be a good rom-com fun time, and I'm hoping to pick this one up soon. I feel like this just needs to be read in the fall. It's giving fall. So I'm hoping to pick this one up really soon. And then we have something that is a little different for me. I am trying to get into my mystery thriller bag slash era, and I usually enjoy like dark academia and school settings, so I figured that's a good place for me to start in mystery thrillers. So I have picked up Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Iyamedi, and I am super excited to get into this. I've heard good things from people who have read it so far, and I mean, this cover alone is just gorgeous in my opinion. So yes, Sade Hussein is starting her third year of high school, this time at the prestigious Alfred Noble Academy boarding school, after being homeschooled. Misfortune has been a constant companion throughout her life, but even Sade doesn't expect her new roommate Elizabeth to disappear after Sade's first night, or for people to think she had something to do with it. With rumors swirling around her, Sade catches the attention of the girls collectively known as the Unholy Trinity. What is this, Glee? And they bring her into the fold. Between learning more about them, especially Persephone, who Sade is inexplicably drawn to, and playing catch up in class, Sade already has so much on her plate. But when it seems people don't care enough about what happened to Elizabeth, it's up to her and Elizabeth's best friend, Baz, to investigate. And then a student is found dead. As Sade and Baz keep trying to figure out what's going on, Sade realizes there's more to Alfred Noble. Did I say Noble? I meant Nobel. Y'all forgive me. More to Alfred Nobel Academy and its students than she thought. Secrets lurk around every corner and beneath every surface. Secrets that rival even her own. So yeah, this sounds like it will be a good, one for me to dip my toes in and see what I like about mystery thrillers and what I don't like. So really excited for this one. I'm thinking I'm gonna pick this up next month, but yeah, we'll have to see. Next up, we have Witchful Thinking by Celestine Martin. I think that's how you say it. And this says Lucinda Carraway loves living in Freya Grove, the mystic seaside town where charms, hexes, and magical beings of all kinds are the norm. She spends her days teaching high school history and her nights reading tea leaves and tending to her conjure garden. It's a good life, but she can't stop wishing for more. Until one night, that wish turns into a spell, and suddenly Lucy can't say no. Not to a public karaoke performance, not to running a 10K, and most alarmingly, not to her high school crush Alexander Dwyer, who needs her help unjinxing his new house, which just happens to be right across the street from hers. Alex has spent the last 10 years traveling the world on adventures Lucy has only ever dreamed of, and he's planning to leave again as soon as his house is safe to sell. But until Lucy can unhex herself, she and Alex are stuck together. And with so much magic in the air, maybe the next spell Lucy casts will be the one that convinces him to stay. And I think this actually is a start to like a series of interconnected standalone. I'm actually thinking it would be a good idea for me to pick this up next month as well, just to kind of catch the end of, fall and a little spooky, cozy fall moment. Yeah. So might be seeing this one really soon. Next, we have one that I have been kind of looking at. I saw that it got new covers, and ever since I've seen the new covers, I just keep looking at it and looking at it and staring at it and thinking about it. And I was like, okay, finally, it's time to just pull the trigger and go ahead and get it. And so that is Lord of the Fading Lands by C.L. Wilson, and this is the first book in the is it Tyron Soul series? So, yes, this says after nearly destroying the world out of grief, legendary immortal Fae King Rain Tyrant Soul vanished into the Fading Lands for 1,000 years. But when an ancient and familiar evil arises to threaten the Fae and Tyrant alike, he returned to the mortal world to seek the key to their salvation. Rain's search leads him to Eliseta, a woodcarver's daughter who suffers from strange dreams connected to the secret and powerful magic she possesses. Mysterious and ethereal, Ellie's soul sings to Rain's, an impossible, undeniable bond that blooms into a deep, fated love. Now, as they grow closer together, Rain and Ellie must navigate court politics and family expectations, all while searching for a way to stop the rising darkness, a darkness that may be tied to Ellie's magic. So, yes, I love court politics, and I am not the biggest fan of fated mates, but if it's done in a way that isn't annoying, I'll be okay with it. So I'm really interested to see what this is about and why this cover keeps calling my name. So, yeah. Then we have The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. This says, on the night of her husband Matt's 40th birthday, Rachel Abbott receives a sexy, explicit text from her husband that she quickly realizes was meant for another woman. Divorce is inevitable, and Rachel is determined not to leave her 13-year marriage empty handed. Meanwhile, Matt, a rising star mayor with his eye on the White House, can't afford a messy split in the middle of his re-election campaign. They strike a deal. Rachel gets $1 million in a lavish house in the wealthy DC suburb of Oasis Springs, as long as she keeps playing the ideal black trophy wife until the election. Then Rachel meets Nathan Vasquez, a very handsome, very lost 26-year-old artist, and their connection makes Rachel forget about being the perfect politician's wife. As Rachel reawakens Nathan's long dormant artistic aspirations, that was a tongue twister, their attraction becomes impossible to resist. But secrets are hard to keep in a town like Oasis Springs, and Nathan has a few of his own. With the risk of scandal looming and their hearts on the line, they'll have to decide whether the possibility of losing everything is worth taking a chance on love. And this sounds messy, and y'all know I love a messy book. So I'm really excited to get into this and see what's going on. Moving on, we have So Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole, and I think this is another YA fantasy. And it says, Faron Faron Vincent can channel the power of the gods. 5 years ago, she used her divine magic to liberate her island from its enemies, the dragon-riding Langlish Empire. But now at 17, Faron is all powered up with no wars to fight. She's a legend to her people and a nuisance to her neighbors. When she's forced to attend an international peace summit, Faron expects that she will... Faron? I don't know which one I want to say. Let's see. Faron expects that she will perform tricks like a trained pet and then go home. She doesn't expect her older sister Alara forming an unprecedented bond with an enemy dragon, or the gods claiming that the only way to break this bond is to kill her sister. As Faron's desperation to find another solution takes her down a dark path, and Alara discovers the shocking secrets at the heart of the Langlish Empire, each must make difficult choices that will shape the other's lives as well as the fate of their world. And I have seen people talk about this book, and I've even looked at this cover, and I didn't realize that this was dragons. I don't know. It didn't compute in my brain that this has dragons in it. So I'm interested to see how big of a role they play in it, because you know I love a dragon, but I also just love a sister story, and we are always going to stand a black girl on a cover. So yeah. Okay. So lastly, we are going to go into my October book of the month picks. I got 2 books this month because I just couldn't decide. So yes, let's talk about them. The first book that I picked up from book of the month this month was The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. And this is a YA, I think like fantasy romance situation. In Phantom, a kingdom of cobbled streets, flickering lamplights, beautiful buildings, and secret catacombs, shade magic is a scarce and deadly commodity controlled by 2 enemy guilds, the Cloaks and the Daggers, the Thieves and the Assassins. On the night of her mother's murder, 17-year-old Seraphine runs for her life. Seeking sanctuary with the Cloaks, Sarah is set on revenge. But are her secret abilities a match for the dark-haired boy whose quicksilver eyes follow her around the city? Nothing can prepare Sarah for the moment she finally comes face to face with Ransom, heir to the Order of the Daggers. And Ransom is shocked to discover that this unassuming farm girl wields a strange and blazing magic he has never seen before. As the Cloaks and the Daggers grapple for control of Phantom's underworld, Sarah and Ransom are consumed by the push and pull of their magic and the deadly spark and terrible vengeance that keeps drawing them back together. So, yeah, this sounds really good. This is giving true enemies to lovers for me, and I'm hoping that that's what we get in this book, and I'm really excited to dive in and see what this is about, because it sounds interesting and like something that I haven't exactly read before. So I'm really ready to see what this is about. And last, we have The Wild Huntress, and this is by Emily Lloyd Jones. And this is giving trials, competition vibes. So it says, every 5 years, two kingdoms take part in a wild hunt. Joining is a bloody risk, and even the best hunters can suffer the most gruesome fates. Still, hundreds gamble their lives to participate, all vying for the hunt's life-changing prize, a magical wish granted by the other king. Bronwyn possesses a gift no other human has, the ability to see and slay monsters. She's desperate to cure her mother's sickness, and the wild hunt is her only option. Gwydion is the least impressive of his magically talented family, but with his ability to control plants and his sleight of hand, he'll do whatever it takes to keep his cruel older brother from becoming a tyrant. Bribery is prince born and monster raised. Deep down, the royal crown doesn't interest him. All he wants is to know where he belongs. A trickster, a prince, and a wild huntress, if they band together against the monstrous creatures within the woods, they have a chance to win, but nothing is guaranteed, for all are fair game in love and the hunt. And I was doing some reading up on this, and I'm pretty sure this is like has something to do with like Welsh mythology. I don't know if it's like based on it or reimagined or something, but it does have something to do with something to do with Welsh mythology, which is something that I've never read before. So I thought, hey, why not give it a shot? It sounds really cool, and this hunt sounds like it's a nice twist on a trial based fantasy, but also I've heard that it's based off something called The Wild Hunt, which I don't really know a lot about, but yeah, this sounds like a fun time, a good time, and of course, I'm excited to get into it because I bought it. So yeah, this is the book haul. I hope that you enjoyed it. It's not a lot. She's small but mighty. How many is it? 10 books, but 10 is a lot for me to buy so close together. So yeah, it's fine. So don't exactly get used to me posting book hauls, but if there's, a bunch like this, I will keep them and haul them for you. Be sure to look out for me reading these. I hope to get to them as soon as possible. Definitely not before the end of the year. That's not going to happen, but it will be soon. So if you have read any of these and you have thoughts, please share them with me in the comments. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this video. And I hope that you have the best day that you possibly can. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.